Welcome to SeizeYourBusiness.com's podcast and video blog. My name is Kevin O'Flaherty from O'Flaherty Law. My radio partner Jim Wazak from Success Enhancement couldn't be here today, but our guest is Saad Yusuf from Plego Technologies, and our topic today is going to be automating the sales process. So Saad, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
So tell me about Plego Technologies.
Well, Plego Technologies is a software application development company. We are based right here in Downers Grove, next to O'Flaherty Law. Been here for about 5 years, but we've been in business for about 15 years. Started in '02, so 14 and a half years. We started off building simple websites. We started off doing wireless networking and so on, but we really evolved into an application development company. We were in Westchester from 2002 through 2012. We specialized in building software applications for our corporate clientele, such as ERP systems.
What's an ERP system?
Enterprise resource planning. So it kind of runs your entire business. It handles your inventory. It handles your product information, your employee information. Basically, enterprise resource planning. So
it basically automates the back end of a business for people.
Absolutely. Another thing we did was e-commerce websites. I'm sure you're familiar with, a lot of businesses came to us, small businesses, who couldn't, afford, kind of to go to the big boys downtown. So they kind of came to us and said, you know what, we're a small to mid-sized business. We have products we want to sell online. How can you help us? So we were able to do that pretty well.
So you can. A lot of people, when they think about building apps for their business,
Sure,
to make their business more efficient, and I'm not talking about web apps necessarily to sell to people, but apps just to make your business more efficient internally. A lot of people think, well, that's something that you got to be GE or Chrysler or something in order to be able to afford.
Absolutely not.
So you can customize for smaller businesses.
We absolutely can. We have solutions already in place where we can customize for you. We have, for example, if you want to customize your customer relationship management, if you have a sales process but it's completely disorganized, you have everything in spreadsheets or just emails going back and forth, and you can't really track your leads, or you can't track your process from converting a contact to a lead to a customer. We can help you kind of manage that process with a minimal investment. We're not going to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars. We can get you up and running pretty efficiently and pretty cost effectively.
So what are there's a lot of CRM systems out there. There's Salesforce and Pipedrive and a bunch of different pieces of software.
Sure.
When would someone have you kind of customize something for them rather than just using one of the generic out of the box? Explain some of the things that you've done for clients in that area.
What we really do is we define the customer's process, their sales process. So, for example, one customer of ours is a home builder. They're a prominent home builder in the Wisconsin area, and they have franchises all over the Midwest. And they have a very specific sales process. What they have is you have your contacts, so they have anybody they've ever met, anybody the builder's ever met who's kind of, they might have come to a trade show or whatever, and they've expressed, hey, I might build a house one day.
Mm-hmm.
That's a contact. Those people go into your email marketing, your email blasts, and your campaigns. You constantly keep in touch with them. Then they have another item in their process called leads. So a lead is anyone that has shown some sort of interest, shown a leaning towards getting into the home building process.
Sure.
So that's where you continue. That's where you prospect the lead. You grade the lead. You kind of understand, okay, where is that person in the process? So what we did was we set up a bunch of customized questions and created our own algorithm. So for example, for a home builder, some questions they ask are, does this person already own a land? Yes, that's positive. No, then that's a negative. Does this person already have financing? Does he already have cash on hand? And all those questions are asked. Does he already have plans? Does he have blueprints? And when you mark all those questions down, our customer algorithm says, okay, this person is more than a lead. He's a prospect now. Yeah. Or, hey, this person is still he's warm, but not there yet. Let's keep him in the leads bucket. So all that stuff you're not going to get from Salesforce. It's just out of the box. It's standard generic questions about your customers. But if you have a business that has a defined sales process, that needs to be automated, we can definitely help you out.
Okay, and for things like Salesforce, you're going to pay a monthly fee for that. I assume if you're building the software, you pay something up front, and then that's that. And you might actually save money in the long run, right?
Absolutely. So Salesforce, they'll charge you per user per month. So I don't know how much it is. Last time I checked, maybe it's $50 per user. Let's put it that way. If you have 20 users, right? You times 20 times 50 times 12 months, it adds up, and it's a constant cost. What I would use is something like Sugar CRM. Sugar CRM is an open source CRM tool. It comes out of the box with standard CRM applications, but we can customize that because it's open source. We can get in there, we can program it. So you spend a little bit of money up front customizing this application, but then it's yours to own. And the only time you spend money on it is to enhance or upgrade it. If you want to add some features to it or add some.
And that's something you can do.
Absolutely.
People can tweak the application and build upon it as they go along and learn more about the way their business works, right?
Yes, of course. It's always going to happen. You think you want something, but then in practice you start using the system. Okay, maybe we should have done it this way, or maybe we should have this, and it would be better if we did it this way. And it keeps going, but it goes in a positive direction where it's you're continuing to enhance and make your sales process more efficient.
So what's the process of working with you like? If someone comes up to you and says, I'm thinking about, say they're a prospect of yours, that I'm thinking about getting this automated sales system. What can you do for me? How does it work?
Well, what we do is we have a five-stage process, and what you're referring to is kind of an analysis phase.
Mm-hmm.
So someone comes to us, you're thinking about doing some work for us, so we can come into an agreement saying, hey, we'll work with you. We'll definitely, sorry about the train in the background. We will understand what your requirements are, and why don't you hire us for a preliminary engagement, so we can kind of get an understanding of what you need. And after that preliminary engagement, which is kind of an analysis phase, what we do is we come out with a firm price for you as to how much your system will cost. So we'll sit down with you. We'll go over your entire process as it is now, what you currently do. You define to me, okay, this is what we need. This is what our processes are. These are the main players, the main stakeholders in the process, and these are the people who will be using our application. We take all that information into account, and we kind of understand. Okay, so based on your statements and requirements, this is what we think will need to be done. So when that is done, we're able to give you a firm price. Okay, for X amount of dollars, we'll give you X, Y, and Z. Okay, you agree with us? Then what we do is we start the project by going to a design phase. Based on your requirements, we design the entire application out. We give you wireframes, we give you visual designs, we design the back-end database, all the fields, everything in and out. And before we even do a line of code, all those designs, kind of like blueprints, kind of like you're building a house,
sure.
All those blueprints are there for you to approve. Okay, this is what we want. Go ahead, sign the dotted line. Only then do we start development.
Okay.
So then you have, of course, the development process where we go in there and we hammer away at whatever we design. Then you come back in during the QA process. So you want to make sure that whatever we promised you is functioning exactly the way you envisioned it, or maybe if it's not, we can tweak it. Kind of work with you a little bit back and forth there, and of course then we go ahead and launch. Okay.
So tell me a little bit more, since the topic is about automating sales, tell me more about some systems you've designed and how they actually work to make the salesperson or the business owner's life a little easier. You talked about the different parts of the sales funnel, the
sure.
Contacts, leads, and prospects, but what are some things that people have done in their automated CRM systems that you've prepared that kind of make their life a little easier and get value from the system?
Well, what we've done is define roles, because like for another company of ours, you had a sales team, you had a production team that estimates the cost of everything. So what we did was, instead of everybody seeing everything going on and it being a big mess, because sometimes too much information is a bad thing. So you have your on the ground sales guy, just knocking on doors and trying to get leads. He doesn't need to see, how much is being built out or how much is being proposed. He's just getting the lead in and getting it to the next stage. So what we do is we really define the roles, and that's really important. You pick your team, you give them certain roles, you have them do that role excellent, and hand it off to the next guy. And you have one person or a few people overseeing the entire process.
Sure.
So when you have that in place, it kind of defines what a person's supposed to do. No one's stepping on each other's toes. If you're just sending emails back and forth, or if you have spreadsheets that you're sharing, or if you got just a very out-of-the-box generic system where there aren't any roles or anything like that, then it can get very confusing.
Sure.
So what we do is we streamline the process. We give the people who are working on it tunnel vision to their specific tasks, and when it's handed off, then they don't need to worry about it. They just continue in the job, and it really works out well that way.
Well, I think probably the biggest advantage that you can give people with this, at least from my perspective, is when you are handing off the baton to a different part of your team, making sure that baton doesn't get dropped, and having some checks, people checking to make sure that things are being done appropriately in that transition. Like, for example, we have a business development team that's going out and networking and meeting with people, and they might get somebody that refers a client to us, and we want to make sure that when that process happens, that they're credited with bringing that client in, and that an initial consultation is scheduled, and if the consultation isn't scheduled, there's a follow-up set, and then once the consultation happens, you want to make sure that you've gotten the attorney retention agreement and payment, and that's been passed off to the attorney that's actually going to do the work. And that's a lot of little steps and a lot of opportunities for something to go wrong, for someone not to get credit for bringing the business in, or maybe a follow-up doesn't happen when it's supposed to. But if it's all in an automated system, you can basically have a red flag when something's going wrong.
And you mentioned like follow-ups and that kind of stuff. We can create you custom dashboards, so you can see what follow-ups do I have today. You open your system up, home page, boom. I have 10 follow-ups today. I got to make these calls. Okay, how many follow-ups do I have this week? How many meetings do I have this week? And you can, as a manager, see your entire organization, or you can, as a individual, you can see your own follow-up. So that's why the roles are important. Managers can see everything. Individuals see their own thing. So all that stuff, there's so much accountability put into it that it's really hard to drop the ball without getting noticed.
I think the dashboard for me as a business owner is the most attractive thing, because I have about 12 employees in different departments with different roles. And to have something that I could just log into on my phone, if I'm out of the office, or just log into in the morning and be able to see, okay, these are the things that this employee was supposed to accomplish, and it looks like they're on track, or there's some red flags here I need to check in and make sure this process isn't breaking down. That's really helpful for someone who's managing 12 employees, because there's no way on a daily basis I can go in and check in with everybody. But if I've got an automated dashboard that's not relying on the employees, telling me if something's going wrong or something's getting behind, that's a really valuable resource.
And a big key in that is establishing the culture where they have to update their information in the CRM. Because they can do all the work and they can just be lazy about checking a box in the CRM or adding their notes in there, and then it's basically garbage in, garbage out. So if you're not putting the right kind of information in to get that feedback, then it all falls apart. So what I tell people is it's really important to get the CRM built, but it's extremely more important to establish a culture where if you don't update your information in the CRM, then it's not going to work. So.
Yeah, and we've had that problem. I mean, we use something like that for our sales, and the problem that we always have is if one person on the whole team isn't good about actually inputting the data, then nobody can trust any of the data.
Your data isn't accurate, exactly.
And that's a difficult thing. And we've done a couple of podcast episodes on getting buy-in and managing change. I think that the last episode we did was about that. And that's the hard part. Paying a couple $1,000s to get the system built, that's an easy thing to do for a business owner. But actually, getting your team to buy in is difficult. Do you do trainings and stuff?
Absolutely, constantly. Because and a lot of times, like the home builder, a lot of blue collar, folks who really aren't used to using computers. So it really is a challenge to get them to buy in and use their phones or use their laptops to really stay up to date with their information. And you get a lot of questions, you get a lot of pullback. A lot of people saying, "Oh, the spreadsheet was easier," whatever. Those kind of comments, where it's like they don't understand the true value of it until only someone in management would really understand. Okay, this is so important because everyone's putting information in the same area. But sometimes the guys on the ground, you need them to buy in first.
Yeah, they always want to make that next call rather than
Exactly.
reporting the results of the
Absolutely.
last one, and that's difficult. So if someone wants to reach you and have you help them with this or a website or any other
Sure.
software, how can they reach you?
www.plego.com, plego.com, or call us at 630-541-7541.
And these guys are my next door neighbors. They've been very good neighbors. Put up with a lot of parties at our office for the past, it's been like 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah.
So they're great guys, and if you want to find them, you can always just come to where our Downers Grove office is located.
Come by Kevin, yeah. He'll lead you to our door, no problem at all.
Well, thank you so much, Saad. It's been great having you. And if you wanna contact me for an initial consultation, you can call 630-324-6666. Also, check out more podcasts and video blogs on our website, seizeyourbusiness.com. And I also do a weekly legal podcast video blog and a weekly article at learn-about-law.com. Thanks so much, Saad.